People, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. First things first, guys, make sure you smash a like and make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. When we hit 5,000 subscribers, there will be a Chelsea training top giveaway from the range for the upcoming season. So please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. The sooner we get there, the quicker that giveaway will take place. And last night, Chelsea drew 1-1 with Borussia Dortmund in Chicago. Mason Burstow's header in the last minute, cancelling out Marius Wolf's opener 10 minutes from time. And that made it an unbeaten pre-season campaign for the Blues, a stark contrast to last season's disaster. And the first time we've been unbeaten in pre-season since the 2011 pre-season campaign under Andre Villas-Boas. And we all know what happened that season. We went on to win the Champions League on that famous night in Munich. I'm not saying we're going to go on and have an amazing season next season, but could be a good omen. Who knows? But yeah, guys, there's lots to get into. I mean, there's a few takeaways I had myself as a bit of a summary before we go into it in a bit more depth. But hopefully, Christopher Nkunku's okay. That's a goal for the knee injury. The pitch, by the way, an absolute shambles. It looked like a field. Apparently, an Ed Sheeran concert was to blame. A record crowd for that is perhaps one of the reasons why the pitch was looking so poor. I mean, it's great for Ed, but really shit for us. And we're lucky that we didn't seemingly pick up any more injuries on that surface. Nicholas Jackson was superb again. Link up play, hold up play was fantastic. Mudrik's looking so lively, really confident. I mean, if you've not seen that touch from a Reece James crossfield ball, please go and check it out. It was phenomenal. But more importantly, you know, his delivery was great. His set piece delivery was spot on as well. And he looks really confident. I think he's going to be a big threat going into the season. Conor Gallagher, who's actually played the most minutes in pre-season under Pochettino, was actually really good in the pivot tonight. I mean, myself and many others included have written him off as a pivot player. Yes, this is only one game, but he looks like he potentially could do a job there. Levi Colwill, fresh off that new 6-year contract, was phenomenal in the heart of the defence alongside Thiago Silva. Yes, his finishing was poor. Should have had at least one goal, maybe a couple of goals. Sterling, again, was hugely concerning. That's 5 games out of 5 now where he's been shocking in each one of them. All he seems to do is just run into defenders, goes to ground way too often for my liking, and he's been awful, absolutely awful this pre-season campaign. And, you know, Correa, again, he looks shaky. He looks like he's got a mistake in him every time the ball comes near him. And, you know, I've backed him and I think he deserves another season, but his performances are making it difficult to continue to back him. But I just can't see the club getting a decent offer for him. But I mean, what I really wanted to see from last night, first things first, with the team lineup, was something that was going to mimic the starting lineup for Liverpool, or as close to the starting lineup for the Liverpool game as we could possibly get. And I think with Pochettino selection, we probably did just about see the starting lineup for Liverpool, give or take 1 or 2 players, in my opinion. I think that back 5 goalkeeper included is what it will be. Kepa, James, Silva, Colwill, Chile. Enzo and Gallagher, again, in the pivot. I don't think that will start. I think Santos could potentially start if Caicedo hasn't come in. Sterling, Chukwuemeka and Nkunku behind Nicholas Jackson. I think Nkunku will start in the 10. I think Mudryk will start on the left. And then on the right-hand side, I mean, it might have to be Raheem Sterling, which would be a disaster. But, you know, because Madueke can't get fit quick enough. Really, it's a shame that he's not played any minutes in this preseason. But look, that was the team, and it was good to see that, you know, a lot of guys were getting a decent chunk of minutes, 60, 70, 80 minutes for a lot of the players, which is a big plus. But I mean, let's move on to the only negative I feel from the game, and that is Christopher Nkunku's potential knee injury. Now, it's not been confirmed the extent of it yet, but that would be a big blow to our early part of the season and Mauricio Pochettino's plans for the first few weeks of the season if Nkunku is to be ruled out for a couple of weeks, meaning he would probably miss the first few games of the season. Again, it's important to stress that there's been no update on that. There was a video on social media saying, doing the rounds of him walking on the pitch at full time, and he said he was okay. So it's tricky. It's tricky to tell what the extent of that is. But you know, let's just hope it's not too serious, because he's been a standout performer in pre-season. And at this point in time, we really don't have a replacement for him in the squad. So we've got to hope that that isn't too serious. But that is a bit of an injury scare that we could really, really do without, having had such a great pre-season campaign. To pick up an injury to a key player in the last game of the pre-season is a bit of a blow. But let's hope it's good news and he's not out for too long, or it was just a bit of a knock and it was just a precaution that he came off. Let's wait and see what happens on that one. But yeah, it was a shame we didn't get to see more of him linking up with Jackson, having to go off early with that injury. We also got a little bit of an insight into Poch's potential decision on a captain. Thiago Silva and Reece James both started, but Reece James captained the side. Now, are we looking too much into that, or is that an indication that Reece is going to be the captain for the upcoming season? I mean, I've got no issues, whoever it is, whether it's Silva or whether it's Reece. It really makes no difference to myself. Yes, on a personal level, it would be nice to see Reece get it, of course, but either of those are outstanding candidates, and whoever it ends up being, it will be a great choice. So, but Pochettino perhaps giving us a slight captain's insight into who he thinks is potentially going to be the captain. So, Reece James having skipped the side with Thiago Silva starting as well, that could be a little bit of a clue from Pochettino as to who the captain's going to be for the upcoming season. I mean, another thing I wanted to dive into was Levi Colwill was superb last night. I mean, there's a lot to live up to, but there's a lot of hype and excitement surrounding him. But he looks more than capable of living up to it. Again, we've tied him down to a new 6-year contract with a club option for an additional year. And this guy seemingly has got it all, and he displayed many of those defensive attributes against Dortmund. I think it was a big plus for the defense last night in general, because Borussia Dortmund have been free scoring in preseason, beaten Man United. They've done well in their preseason campaign so far, and we limited them to very few chances. And their goal was quite fortuitous, quite lucky from a corner. But he was alert to block runners who threatened to pose danger if they're allowed to sort of run towards the Chelsea goal unmarked. And the pre-match challenge for Colwill from Poch was to prove he deserves to start the season in Chelsea's team. And as far as Colwell's concerned, that is very much job done for him. Yes, his finishing could have been a bit better. There are a couple of chances where he should have stuck it away, but as far as it goes, that was a really accomplished performance, and he is going to be starting the season as Chelsea's first choice centre back, I feel, alongside Thiago Silva. I mean, I've touched on the team selection, but I would also like to give a mention to Conor Gallagher. He comes in for a lot of stick. A lot of people don't think he's good enough. I don't think he should be starting week in, week out. But credit is due where it's due. And, a huge shout out to Conor Gallagher last night. He was superb in that pivot alongside Enzo Fernandez. Poch is turning him into an absolute machine. He was absolutely everywhere. And I was really surprised at how effective he was in the pivot, and I hope he keeps it up. And the fact that he's played the most minutes in pre-season under Maurizio Pochettino goes to show that Poch likes him, and Gallagher is going to be a big part of the plans. And I don't personally see anyone coming in with a £50 million bid for him. But it seems clear that Gallagher's part of the plans and Poch likes him. But it remains to be seen what happens with Gallagher. If Kudos signs, for example, what's going to happen with Chukwuemeka, who was impressive when he came in, because they're going to be vying for the same sort of minutes on the pitch. So it's going to be interesting to see what does happen there. There's going to be some big decisions to be made and some selection headaches for Pochettino for sure. But credit where credit's due to Gallagher last night. A lot of people saying he's not good enough. I think he is good enough to play for Chelsea, not on a regular basis, of course, but to be a squad player and a rotation option. I think it's a very good option to have for sure. So fair play to him, credit where it's due last night. And, it was a decent game. And you know what? Like, the fact of the matter is, we didn't look as sharp in the final third, but we still created a lot of chances. And these were chances that we weren't creating last season. And these are performances that we would have given our, an arm and a leg for at the start of last season. So, yes, it wasn't the best from us, but to come through the preseason campaign unbeaten was a massive plus. Again, Nicholas Jackson looking superb. I cannot wait to see him in the Premier League, starting off against Liverpool next weekend. He's a big plus, and hopefully that Dusan Vlahovic deal for me personally, I hope that doesn't go through. Yes, you need competition at the top end of the pitch, but I don't feel Vlahovic is really the right sort of profile. Mykhailo Mudryk, another one who is looking really, really confident. He's looking superb, I have to say. And these are the sort of things we're expecting from Sterling. Lively, confident, direct, taking players on. Everything that Mudryk was doing was great. Yes, at times end product's not great, but that will improve. And there's a lot of talent there. And his delivery and set piece delivery was superb last night. And I've got real faith in Mykhailo Mudryk for this upcoming season, that he is going to do really, really well. Just overall, it's been a really, really positive preseason campaign. We've been able to assess a lot of players, been able to find out who's good enough, who isn't, which is really important as well. A lot of youngsters have got a chance, and they've shown that they are more than good enough to get the job done as well. But I mean, we need to talk about a negative, and I'm sorry, but Raheem Sterling, 5 games in pre-season, 5 absolute disaster classes. Huge concerns over him. And, you know, Sterling, in my opinion, we need to get rid of him as quickly as we possibly can. I'm fully aware he's not going anywhere this summer, but this guy's been shocking, you know. He just looks lazy. He just doesn't have an impact on the team. All he seems to do, he just runs into defenders, goes to ground way too often, doesn't influence the game. He just doesn't seem to be fitting into this Pochettino system. He's been the least impressive player in pre-season for me, probably alongside Cucurella, which are 2 big problems for Chelsea. But, you know, I don't understand how he's managed to be so bad in every pre-season game. I wasn't a huge fan of this signing in the first place, but I didn't see this coming about how poor he was going to be. Madueke cannot get fit soon enough because I can't be dealing with more Raheem Sterling masterclasses. Sterling depends on chances being created for him, not the other way around. So, you know, Sterling is not a great footballer in my opinion. Yes, he's done very well in his career, but I think the Man City system and playing with those players made him look a lot better than he actually is. And he's being exposed for how good he is at this point in time. You know, he said last season that he came to Chelsea because he wanted to be the main man. He's come to be closer to his family, fair enough. Man's on 300 grand a week plus, and he's putting in pathetic side man performances when he wants to be a main man. It's not good enough from him. And he needs to fix up, and he cannot be anywhere near the starting lineup for the first game of the season. There's absolutely no doubt about it. He cannot be anywhere near that lineup. He's behind Mudryk. He's behind Nkunku on the wings. He's behind Madueke, in my opinion, even though we've not even seen Madueke. And for me, the behind Mohamed Kudus as well. And I hope Poch has got the balls and the bollocks as a manager, which I think he does, not to play this guy unless he deserves to play. You know, and he is a huge issue right now. He is a huge issue right now. It's the biggest red flag for sure. The biggest red flag that we've seen. He does the absolute opposite. He freezes, he passes back, he dribbles into players. We've got to sell while we can. He's been so bad. And like people might think I'm being harsh here, but he has been absolutely shocking. It's not an agenda, it's just facts. He's been so bad. And if we could have left him in the States, then I would have been bang up for that. And another stat that I saw, you know, Sterling failed to complete more than 1 successful take-on during every Chelsea game this pre-season. He registered the most unsuccessful take-ons with 5 and lost more duels, 9, than any other player for Chelsea against Dortmund. That just about says it all. So we've got a huge problem there with Raheem Sterling. And yeah, based on the evidence of pre-season, he shouldn't be anywhere near the starting lineup. I just hope that Pochettino left him on for a bit longer last night just to confirm to himself that Sterling shouldn't be anywhere near the starting lineup. But yeah, look, it was a hugely positive display last night again. Not as sharp in the final third, as I said, but, you know, creating chances, players looking sharp, looking lively. And it's been a really positive preseason campaign. New signings doing really well. A great feel-good factor around the camp again. A group of players that all want to be here. I think we've got some really good work done. Get back to Cobham, 10 days or so, hard training, maybe behind closed doors friendly. And I think we are more than ready to attack the start of the season. We just have to hope that we can get Caicedo and maybe Mohamed Kudus in. But yeah, guys, that's just my thoughts on the game, takeaways from pre-season in general. Hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, make sure you smash a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. The sooner we get to 5K, the sooner you'll get your chance to win a Chelsea training top from the new season's range. So yeah, take care, guys. I'll catch you again in another video soon. Up the Chelsea and peace out, people.